Welcome back to Public Affairs on Page. Today we are taking a look at the recent child sex abuse scandal at Penn State University. Former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky is now facing 40 counts of sexually abusing 8 boys over a period of 15 years. And now more victims continue to come forward. One question a lot of people are asking, how many victims are out there and how did nobody know what was going on? Mindy Smith is a family lawyer and she joins us this morning. Mindy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Brandon.
I think what we're seeing here with this whole scandal at Penn State University is a dialogue that's finally beginning to open with athletics and kids in athletics and their parents. Because a lot of times, we were talking about it earlier, parents seem to think that it's sort of a daycare. I'm going to drop my kid off at sports. He's safe. I'll be back in 2 hours to get him. So my question to you is, in the law that you practice and what you've ever seen, how do people not know a crime is happening when it comes to football coaches or it comes to athletics, when we're seeing so many victims or alleged victims by one person?
Well, with the Penn State scandal, these children were young children. When a child has been sexually abused, the last thing that the child wants to do is to tell someone about it. Often they will suffer and they'll feel like they invited the abuse, that it's their fault. It only comes out usually years later, and I'm not surprised it took years for these allegations to come to light, is because these children don't really understand what has happened. A young child may not understand what sexual acts are. They may believe they've been touched inappropriately, something feels wrong, something was off about that touch, but they're not sure exactly how to verbalize that, because a child 10 years old may not even understand what a sexual act is yet, or have ever been talked to about that. So it's just normal. Victims of sexual abuse often repress what's happened to them.
And a lot of people, I would assume a lot of victims out there may say, you know what, so much time has gone on. What could ever possibly happen now? You know, I just got to kind of let go with the past. It happened so long ago. And it's a my word versus their word. And what do you tell to somebody like that, saying, yeah, but you know what, it's just my word and his versus their word. How do I prove it?
It doesn't matter. If someone feels that they have been sexually abused, they need to contact authorities. Children of this age probably may have gone to a parent or a relative. It's very important that a parent or a relative not question the child that has been sexually abused. If they suspect sexual abuse, they do not need to question the child about exactly what happened. It can taint the child's memory. It's very important for these individuals to go to authorities anyway, even if they find themselves 20 years later, they've moved on with their life, they're adults, because normally if an individual has perpetuated abuse against numerous children, there are going to be other victims out there for which there is a legal remedy. And there's civil action, criminal action. A victim should never worry about, well, how can I prove my case? That's up to the legal authorities. But they should always report it. There are resources available to victims of crimes, counseling. States have compensation funds for victims of crimes. Normally it takes many, many years of counseling for a victim of sexual abuse to even come to grasp with what's happened to them in their lives and to be able to cope and move on and
even sustain relationships later on in their lives, even though it happened at a very young period of their life. And as you said, a lot of times proving a case, when there's a sexual abuser out there, there's a pattern there that there's not just one child involved. There's usually repetition in several.
That's normally the case.
That's normally
it rarely happens just one time and never happens again with another child.
And we were talking a little bit in the case of Penn State University, and now more accusations are coming forward, more allegations of child rape by Jerry Sandusky, rapes that may have happened over 20 years ago. And now we're having players say, you know what? Kind of reflecting back, he was a little weird around me. He did touch me a little bit inappropriately, maybe not to the extremes that some of the other victims are saying. What do you tell kids out there, even if it's been 20 years and they're adults now, and said, well, he may have touched me this way, but you know what, statute of limitations has run out, there's no way anything will happen. You say what?
I always encourage a victim of sexual abuse to try to contact authorities, try to talk to someone to see
even the
counseling.
police station.
Yes.
Because that's where we
Yes.
didn't see happen here. We saw a coach tell another coach who then went and told the president of a university. But you're saying if you see it, don't go to your boss, go to the police.
Go to the police immediately. You want to also protect other individuals that could be potential victims as well. So I encourage anyone that if they've been a victim of sexual abuse to please seek help. Go to the authorities. These individuals need to be prosecuted. And in order to prosecute them and to put them behind bars and to make sure that other individuals in the public are safe, you have to come forward. It's very hard to do for a victim, but it's the most courageous thing that a victim of sexual abuse can do for themselves and for other people.
All right, Mindy Smith joining us this morning. We appreciate your insight. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right, still to come this morning. What would you do? It's easy to say that you would go straight to police if you see a crime being committed. But what if your job is at stake? Coming up, what policies employers should have in place to protect whistleblowers.